Hi, this is Todd Burnham with Burnham Law. Today, again, I'm joined by Brandon Wozniak. Brandon's an associate here at Burnham Law, exceptionally talented and just a rising star in the profession. So let's see how he does with these videos, right? We're going to be dealing with the top 5 strategies in dealing with bad custody evaluations. And the top 5, Brandon.
So top 5, 1, read it without emotion, okay? And 2, where did they get it right and where did they get it wrong? 3, understand your options. And Todd's gonna go over in depth all of your options you have. 4, just get organized. And then 5, critical, decide if you're gonna hire a different lawyer.
There you go. All right, number 1, read it without emotion. Easy to say, hard to do. Understand that you went through this, you've gone through the evaluation, and we're talking about a CFI or a PRE. CFI is a child and family investigator. PRE is a parental responsibilities evaluator. Consider CFI versus PRE is this. PRE is a CFI on steroids. You're doing, psych testing on both parties here, okay? You've gone through this entire evaluation. Your hopes and your dreams are that the truth is going to come out. And what happens is that they got it completely wrong, right? First thing you do is read it without emotion. Don't be upset, don't be scared, don't cry, don't panic, don't do anything. Be objective, all right? And with that comes in, where did they get it right and where did they get it wrong? Be honest with yourself. Be critical about it, okay? Did they get it right about, how much time dad is spending, with the child? Did they get that wrong? These are like very basic things. Then, when it gets into more subjective areas, did they get it right about, how dad fosters love and affection, or did they get that wrong too, right? Number 3.
Number 3, we're gonna talk about options, right? Understanding the options.
Options. All right, so options are, the way that I look at it is there's about 4 options, okay? The first one is a peer review. Peer review is when you have another expert come in and review that report. And so you have, instead of you saying, where did they get it wrong, where did they get it right? You have an expert who's going to carry more weight with the court. And they're going to say, well, based on the evidence that was provided to that expert, they got this wrong, they got that wrong, right?
And then number 2, I think, would just be a supplemental report.
Supplemental reports, not a peer review where they're going to analyze what that expert got right or wrong. It's just a whole new report, right? It's a whole new evaluation. So if it's a CFI, it's a new CFI. If it's a PRE, it's a new PRE. And typically speaking, and generally speaking in these situations, the person that wants the report, depending on the financial situation and circumstances, they're going to have to pay for that report.
And third, I'd say if you had a CFI, maybe look into a PRE.
There it is. CFI, PRE, completely different animals. When you have a CFI, it's going to be like a little bit less than $3,000 flat fee. PRE, you're looking at over $10,000. And you know what? You don't buy sushi from a gas station, okay? When you get a PRE, this is in-depth. This is psych testing. This is, when I deal with narcissists as opposing parties, I was going to say opposing counsel, but sometimes opposing counsel too. I'm dealing with narcissists. I want a PRE because you can't, you have to choose which person you're going to be. With a narcissist, you're like, oh, best person in the world. And then at home, they're like, it's Jekyll and Hyde. And usually with a PRE, they can delve in and they can find where that person is misrepresenting who they really are. So CFI to a PRE is another third option.
And your fourth option would really just to be roll with it. Right?
Roll with it. You've got enough information and enough data to know that you can cross-examine this expert on the stand. You have confidence with your the quality and the experience level and the knowledge of this lawyer that you hired. And if you can cross-examine and show that this expert didn't do a thorough job, didn't get the facts right, didn't do X, Y, or Z, that's your fourth option.
All right, number 5, or number 4 really, we're going to talk about getting organized with your approach.
Get organized. You've got to know, you get a bad report, you've got to get organized and you've got to have a strategy, right? So those top 4 are really the analysis of what we're going to be doing moving forward. Where were you organized before, right? We talked about before, where did they get it wrong? Where did they get it right? But where did you go wrong, right? Did you make mistakes here? And how can you correct those mistakes? And usually the best way to do that is to get organized in your approach and in your thoughts.
Number 5, just looking at your results so far, maybe look into getting another lawyer.
Seriously, like this is your child we're talking about, right? So you've been encouraged or you've been forced to have an evaluation performed. You were interviewed, opposing party was interviewed. If it's a PRE, you had psych testing. And for some reason, you lost, right? So why did you lose? Anytime you win, you have to look at it critically so you can get better. And especially when you lose, why? Why did you lose? And a lot of times, most often, it's because your lawyer just didn't have it, right? And so it goes back to what we've talked about on these other 30,000 foot view top fives. You have to choose your lawyer like wisely, and not all lawyers are created equally. Did you hire a lawyer that really understood you and that was like emotionally invested in your case? Yeah, those are social workers. Those are therapists. Did you hire a lawyer that didn't listen to your facts and just said, no, we're going to do this and I've got this, and then was overworked and didn't prepare you? Were you prepared for this custody evaluation? No, you weren't prepared. No, you weren't ready for the questions that were asked. No, you weren't prepped by another expert that is in that law firm. Like, you have to find the best lawyer possible, like especially with this, right? And you don't buy sushi from a gas station. You get what you pay for. And so this is the time when you do switch lawyers. Like, a lot of times you don't want to switch lawyers. You're already into it. You're going to trial. Like, you don't want to do those things. This is when you do it. It's about your kids. You do everything and anything to make sure that you are put in the best possible situation to succeed and to win this case. Otherwise, you're going to the other party and you're saying, let's cut a deal. And is that in the best interest of your child? I don't know. Only you can answer that. How'd we do?
Great.
Right on. Good luck.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe. And for more information, go to burnhamlaw.com.